Well, I'm just going to go ahead and start talking since this is live deal here, and since some of my people out there are probably watching Star Trek Out of Darkness or something, because that's on right now. I want to talk about, at least for me, and those of you that don't know, this is my Monday Mentor Me Monday show that I normally do. And I'm going to take this and probably put it up on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Jedi for Hire. And so I'm talking tonight about about youth ministry and calling, at least, and I'm going to answer any questions for anybody that may be out there that have questions. And I'm really stuck on a post that I read by Brooklyn Lindsey. And Brooklyn Lindsey, if you go to brooklynlindsey.com, she has a great post there which talks about why youth ministry. And she has two very important questions about youth ministry. She asked the two questions that really have me thinking, and probably because I'm 47, I've been in youth ministry a long time, and I find myself at a crossroads, even within my own calling. I still love Jesus. I still want to serve the Lord and serve young people. I find myself connecting more with youth workers than ever because youth workers have a lot of questions, and I've been in it long enough that I'm as old as dirt, and so hopefully I can be able to answer some of those questions because I've been through one or two things. But the two questions that I find that Brooklyn Lindsey asks that really have me thinking about the future and thinking about at least my calling in youth ministry, and I'll give you a brief little thing there. Feel free and welcome anybody that's just popped in there. I noticed somebody popped in there. Feel free to ask any questions at any time. If you have questions about youth ministry, things like that, please feel free to go ahead and comment, and I will answer those questions. But for me, I got called to youth ministry. Hey, Davey, when I got called to youth ministry, I was probably 17 years old, and so which was a long time ago. And when I received that call to youth ministry, I thought that was my whole world, my whole life ahead of me, and that's what I want to do. In fact, I pretty much told God, said, God, I want to be a lifer. I want to be a lifelong youth pastor. Now, God has granted that request, and I am extremely thankful for it. And I guess, I don't know what I thought. 17, hey, man, how are you doing? David, good to see you. If you have any questions, feel free to put them up there. But and when I got called to youth ministry when I was 17 years old, like I said, I don't know what I thought lifetime was, maybe 10 years, or I don't know what I thought lifetime was at the time that I got called to youth ministry. But 25 years later, I find myself in this place where now, let me tell you something else that really kind of, I don't know, I guess it bothered me. When my youth pastor, great guy, great youth pastor, and I remember when he stopped doing youth ministry, and I know he had gone through just misery. He had just gone through hell. And I remember I was a young man, and I saw him leave the ministry. I saw him leave youth ministry to go clean pools. And I really angst over it in my spirit. I was like, "What are you doing, man? You're a youth pastor. You don't quit doing youth ministry. You just don't quit like that." And I was very upset with him. I was very angry with him. And I don't know, what I was thinking. I was probably just a passionate young man who just thought that. And I just said to myself at that point, I said, look, I want to be a lifelong youth pastor. I don't want to do it for a year or 2 years or 5 years or any of those things. And I just said to myself, I said, look, I want to do this thing long enough where I can see the fruit of it and see those things. And God has brought me on a tremendous trip, which I'm grateful for. I'm thankful for. But now I find myself at this crossroads of life where now I'm asking different questions, which brings me to the Brooklyn Lindsey post. And the post that she does, the two questions she asks is, number one is, why do you do what you do? And question number two is, what do you believe to be true about yourself that keeps you serving? And I answer these questions. If you're not familiar with my blog, it's thediscipleproject.net. And I answer these questions here. It says, why do you do what you do? And I just thought it was a good question because I don't know if my answer keeps changing or not, except the fact that, that Jesus asked me to do it. I just think that it's almost like where, hey, B. Young, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. I guess for me, the key question is, why do you do what you do? Is that Jesus won't let me do anything else at the moment. And I've asked him, my prayer has two parts to it. The first part is, Lord, show me the way through, or two, show me the way out. And he is not, at this point, he is showing me the way through. He's showing me the way through youth ministry versus showing me the way out at this point. And so for me, I just keep that as my consistent prayer because I don't want to go against what the Lord has for me. I don't want to go against those things, but I also don't want to stay too long. You know what I'm saying? When you're a youth pastor and you have that feeling of you're just been around too long. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you don't know that. But at least for me, it makes me feel like I've been on the stage too long, or out in the public too long, or in front of kids too long, to where you say, maybe there's something else for me to do, and I don't know what that is yet. But God hopefully will go ahead and share that with me at his at his due time. My timetable is not his timetable, right? So the two questions: why do you keep doing what you do? Number one for me is, be young. I've been a youth pastor now for 25 years. And this is actually, this year, so I'm celebrating 25 years. In fact, this August will probably be the day my first job as a youth pastor I was a junior high youth pastor in Vero Beach, Florida. And I did that for 2 years. I was a junior high boy. I love junior high students, man. I think they're just the best. And those 2 years, probably when I was 22 years old, I served those 2 years. And then I went into senior high, and the senior high youth pastor left. All right, man, 12 years. Keep it rocking, buddy. Absolutely. Keep going. You're about halfway there, bro. I serve right now, I serve in Birmingham, Alabama, at a church here in a little town called Pleasant Grove. It's kind of a little rural city. Brandon, Florida. All right. Well, when I served in Vero Beach, I always go down. I want to recommend, by the way, a camp down there called Life for Youth Camp. Be young. So if you ever get a chance to go to Vero Beach, which is about the middle of the East Coast, down between Melbourne and West Palm Beach, it's a great camp called Life for Youth Camp, and that's actually where I gave my heart to the Lord. And it's a really powerful camp, and so if you get a chance to go there, I recommend it. So let me ask you guys that are out there, Be Young, go ahead and tell me, why do you do what you do? Why stay in it for 12 years? And I'd like to know, you can tell me, if you've served at the same church for 12 years. I have not. I have served in probably 5 or 6 different churches over the years. Usually an average stay for me is about 4 years, 5 years. And this is actually my 5th year at the church that I'm at right now. I did 5 years at a church previously. This is my 5th year. And I have not served in a church longer than 5 years. And I don't know if that's because of me. Okay, you taught school, coached football 6 years before surrendering to youth ministry. It put you in a headlock and said, "Come along, Mr. Young. You have got to enter this thing called youth ministry." God Spirit put you in a hammerlock and said, "All right, this way to the youth ministry." Good for you, buddy. So for me, the what do you do, I'm still answering that question. But other than that, the fact that Jesus hasn't allowed me to do anything else. As hard as sometimes you're going crazy, Okay, in high school. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Absolutely had a call on my life as well. Probably, like I said, when I was 17 years old. I was probably a junior at that point. And it was just an awesome time. The second question that I had here was what do you believe to be true about yourself that keeps you serving? And what do I keep true about myself? What do I think is true about me is the fact that I can still be relatable. I'm still a bit of a kind of a big nerd. And so, I'm able to relate to those things with students. I stay contemporary. I stay culturally aware. I watch all kinds of shows. I listen to all kinds of podcasts. I do all kinds of things like that. So for me, what do what you do? And what do you believe to be true about yourself that keeps you serving? And I think the things that I believe about myself, is that I still think I have gifts and talents and abilities that allow me to serve. I still have the ability to speak and to preach, and I still sense and feel God's anointing in that area. I still get excited to do it. There's some things that I'm not excited about. Not excited about lock-ins at all. not excited about that at all. I have done one probably in the past 5 years. I'm not excited about those things, but I am excited about doing ministry. Amen. That's right, B. I'm not excited at all about that. Me and you both, brother. But let me tell you what I am excited about. I'm more excited about praying with kids at the altar. I'm more excited about just having lunches with kids. I'm excited to talk with parents who are dealing with their issues and struggles. I have 3 kids myself. I have just graduated, one daughter. Oh, I only have one daughter, but one daughter. Lock-ins. Boo, that's right. And so, so for me, doing ministry like that, like I said, I have a daughter. I just graduated from college from Auburn University. And I also have 2 sons. I have a son in college who's 20 years old, and I also have a young son, 15 years old, who's a freshman in high school. And so those guys keep me young. I keep, I still, like I said, feel like I have a ministry to students. And you know what? I used to romanticize youth ministry. I used to think, back in the day when, it was just you and you had all these kids and they would follow you around, do all those things. And I'm much more realist today than I ever have been, in the sense of this, that I don't romanticize the position anymore, or even the calling per se. I just understand that it is what it is, that I have to be who God created me to be. And in that sense, I think that is what is true about myself that keeps me doing what I do, that I just haven't just given up and said, well, that's enough for me, is because I feel like if I can still make an impact, if I still think I can reach kids, if I can still be effective, if I can still be useful, if God will still use me, then I will keep doing what I do. When I feel like that time is over, then the thing I understand about myself is that I am willing to walk away, from that when God says it's time to do that. I used to fear it. I used to think, what else can I do? And I'm really not worried about it at this point. I'm really feeling like that I'm comfortable in myself enough that God has brought me this far, and He would lead me further still. So that is my thing for tonight. So if those of you that are going to be watching on my YouTube channel, you guys can feel free to leave comments down below. Let me know, what is it that keeps you doing what you're doing? And please go ahead and tell me, what is it about yourself that keeps you serving? How your confidence level in that, and why do you keep serving the way you serve? Don't forget to go to Brooklyn Lindsey's website and read her article. She's going to be doing a follow-up with that. It's brooklynlindsey.com, and it is a great article called Why Youth Ministry, and that's really what got me thinking for tonight's Meant to Be Monday. So anyway, I have Davey here, D. Young with me here. Mr. Young, do you have any questions for me other than that? Because I am just chilling tonight. The wife is out of town. She's in Chicago at a meeting, and I am just chilling out doing the Mentor Me Monday thing. So other than that, if you have any questions, man, I am willing to answer any questions you may have. And other than that, I am just thrilled to be here. So just sipping on some lemonade here. So excuse me here. But anyway, Mr. D. Young, thank you for joining me for this brief little bit of time here. I hope that it was valuable to you. Of course, feel free to follow me if you're not followed with me on Twitter. Please do so, and hit me up with any questions you may have. But thanks for joining me tonight for Meant to Be Monday. You can go ahead, and if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, please feel free to go ahead and click subscribe. Oh, here we go. Question right here, buddy. Hey, Mark Ashby, good to see you, buddy. Do you look at Sunday morning Bible study the same as Wednesday nights? Well, you know what? It used to be in our Sunday school has always been it felt like an anchor around my neck, at least in the ministries I've been into, because it was the worst attended. It was just this catch-all. Yes, different students, yeah, and in the different churches I've served there, just different kinds of are they different kinds of students in the areas? They are in the sense that. Let's put it this way, in every church has been different. In the church I am currently serving in, the Sunday school class is really awesome. First of all, I don't teach it because I've taught Sunday school for years and years, because that's kind of like the thing, you're a youth pastor and then you teach Sunday school in the morning. But anyway, I found a wonderful lady to go ahead and teach, and really the Sunday school class is thriving. Kids actually desire to show up and be a part of Sunday school, and that just blows my mind. Now, Wednesday night is your Sunday morning crew. They're all kind of the hardcores. They're committed, and they really want to learn and they really want to do stuff. The Wednesday night crew, of course, we do a little bit more outreach, so they're a different group of kids as well. No less passionate for the Lord just because they don't come on Sunday mornings, but that's just kind of the level. You have a certain level of parents that are committed to Sunday mornings, so those kids show up, and none of them are. I don't have to drag answers out of them. The teacher doesn't have to, do various things like that. But they they're good kids. They're great kids who really love the Lord, who are really seeking Him. So, but that's my Sunday school experience. As far as that goes, and it's a really good. Oh, do you still summer camp just for church kids? No, we bring. You know what? We bring any kids that want to go. As far as I understand, we bring kids that if you want to go to camp, it becomes a great entry level for students who don't know us, and we have to gauge their faith level of where they're at. But we think taking kids to camp is just a phenomenal entry point for kids, because yes, they see all the excitement and the games and all the stuff that happens there, but they also get to know kids and build relationships with kids during that time. So no, for us, it's not just about church kids going to church camp. It really is an outreach and a diving board, if you will, into the bigger picture of what our youth ministry offers them. So if they come along with us to summer camp, they will hope. My desire is that they don't just have an experience, but then it's a lot bigger there for them. Retreat versus D now. You know what? I have not been able to pull off a D now in a number of years, because I don't know if it's the culture of where I'm at. I can have a retreat, and usually if I do a retreat now, it's not even an overnight retreat. It's a one-day retreat. It's like we go somewhere, we go hang out together, and I don't even necessarily if I call it a retreat per se, but I would love to do a D now, but the culture doesn't necessarily support it. The parents are either too busy or don't want to open up their homes or anything like that, and I don't balk against that. I did when I first got there, and I thought, man, what a shame it was. But you know what? I can only do I can't do a hard sell on it. I can't say, look, this has got to be the way it is. I have to flow with kind of where the church is taking me and where the culture of the parents are, all the while trying to push the envelope a little bit. Let's see. First church I served was always did retreats. Current church culture is about D now. Well, each one has their, each one has their things, do I prefer one over the other? Not necessarily. I think they both have very distinct functions. And I'll give a little shout out to my friends over at Youth Ministry 360, D Young. If you aren't familiar with them, they do a lot of discipleship now stuff that's really good material. And that's youthministry360.com. And they're good folks over there if you're looking for material. But yeah, so for me, I've done retreats and I've done D-Nows, and I don't know if I really prefer one over the other. I do like the D-Nows because I have more leaders that are participating in that, because they're small group leaders and all those things, versus a retreat where you have a counselor aspect, and I'm kind of still kind of the head of all that. So it's compared to the one or the other as far as I think. I'd much rather, do maybe a D-Now than a retreat, but I think they're both equal for me. I think the kids get the most. I think the kids get, if you're taking them away for a day or wherever you may take them, I still think they're, just the fact that you're getting them away is a great time. So, but that's what I think. What do I know? I don't know anything. But anywho, man, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate D Young. Thanks for hanging with me just for a little while here. I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just get off now so I don't wear you out. You can't have, I know there's too much of this right here, my friend. I'm just telling you. But anyway, I'd love to connect with you. Feel free to hit me up. But thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you listening and being a part. And you can always go back and replay this, watch this back. Hey, man, thank you. Appreciate it so much. Definitely not a stepping stone, brother. That's look, if it's if this is a stepping stone, this is the longest stepping stone I have ever been on in my entire life. I would have to have a stride this huge to go from where I started to where I'm at now. That's a long step. I think they'll wind up dragging me kicking and screaming if God calls me to some sort of senior pastorate or something like that. I don't know what I'll do. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. You can catch this video. Hopefully I'll upload it to my YouTube channel over at youtube.com/Jedi for Hire. And you can watch it or get some notes or whatever you want to do that. But see you later, guys. Have a great evening. Talk to you later. Bye.